Well, you've probably seen by now that there are several ways of drawing a detail. And so I'll just draw this the way that I would draw it, but you might pick up other tools now that you're starting to get used to the software. We know for sure that we'll need to save the file. So I've given you a bunch of different ways of doing that. Up here, we can click on that little floppy disk icon and navigate over to the folder that you want to save it in and call it whatever number the assignment number is and save it in that folder that you're using. So here we want to go to layers and layer properties. My screen is condensed a little bit more, so the layers panel is probably showing in yours. And here I only have just kind of a small box, so you know to go to layer properties and click on here the stack of papers right there, the icon for creating a new layer. We're going to create a layer called objects, press enter twice, and one called dim text. I think these are the only two layers we really need for now. If you created an extra one, you can always just pick delete. Right, there it goes. You can change the color if you'd like so that you can keep track of, what's on different layers. What we did for the object layer is we changed the default line weight here to something bolder like 0.6. And then we're going to be drawing on the object layer, so we'll double click on that little sheet of paper to the right of objects. Now we can get started. I think I would draw the circles first, so I'll go to circle center diameter. Since this smaller one's a diameter, I'll click for a center point and I'll type in 1.25. Now 1.25 is the same as 1 1/4. So if you know the decimal equivalent, you can type in 1.25 for 1 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and delete that circle and show you that we could change here it to and type in here the fraction. So I'll go to center circle diameter and I'll pick for the center point. But this time I'm going to type in 1 and then that little dash and then 1 and then /4. So if you know the decimal equivalent, you can type it in. But if you don't know the decimal equivalent, you can use that little dash to separate the inches from the fractions and then the 1/4. Okay, and then press enter. And you can verify that you have that same circle if you want to double click on it. It'll show you here the diameter is 1.25. All right, my next circle is radius and it's 1 3/4. So I'll go to circle center radius. I'll use the center of that circle I just created. I'll click for a center point and then I'm going to type in 1.75, or like I said, you could type in 1-3/4. And there's my other circle. Now I want to make sure down here in my object snaps that I have the quadrant object snap on and checked. So under here, the object snap settings, I want to make sure that I have quadrant. So by doing that, I can start this line here, which starts from the top of this circle. I'm going to go ahead and start the line command and click the top of this circle. Go to the right, and it looks like 2 7/8. So this time I'll type in 2-7/8 and enter. And that's going to give me that 2 7/8 there. Now, when I come straight down, I'm going to be able to take a look at the overall dimension, which is over here, 5 3/4 right there. So coming straight down, I can type in 5.75 and enter. Because these two are really looking at the same part, the 5 3/4 is the height. And the 2 7/8 is how far it is from the circle over to the side. So now I can come back here, this right here, 1 5/8. So I can type in 1-5/8 and enter. And then I'm just going to come back up. It doesn't matter how far, just a little bit here, and click and right click and enter. Because this corner, I'm going to use the fillet command to clean that corner up. But I do know that I need a line underneath here. So I'm going to start the line command and click at the bottom of the circle, pull my mouse over anywhere here and click. Right click and enter or enter. So when I create my fillets, I'm going to be able to clean up that corner. I'm not quite done yet. I have another line here that's 1 1.5. And so we can use offset to offset 1.5 from the bottom up, or we can use tracking. I'm going to introduce it to you if I hadn't already in one of the other videos. If I start the line command and I rest my pointer at this corner and I don't click, but I just pull my mouse up a little, you see how it says extension? I can type in 1.5 and enter. And then what happens here is I track up 1.5 inches. Now you can use offset if you want. We've used that command quite a lot to offset that bottom line up 1.5 inches, but I think this one works really well. I can pull my mouse over and click, right click and enter. Now if you didn't have this line to draw, into, you could track to that line, or you could just draw it extended beyond and then trim it. We have so many different ways, right, of drawing this. So why don't I start with the fillet, just so you can see that this is cleaning up. Although I do have fillets on the other side, it's probably good practice for us to clean this up and work with it. So I'm going to go ahead and start the fillet command. And with this, we said we would click on multiple because we have more than one. And then we're going to click on radius right there. The radius, we're going to type in 0.25 and enter. Now I can click on this line here. Now be careful because you're clicking on the part of the line that you want to keep and the side of the line that you want to fillet. So I'm going to click on right here, this line, and then click on this line, and I have my fillet. And now I need to fillet from this line. So click on the part of the line that you want to keep. Actually, in this one, I'll show you the difference here. If you click first on the bottom line, look what happens when I click over here. You see it's going to come up and fillet towards the right, but I want it to fillet towards the left. So make sure you click on the portion of the line that you want to keep. The rest of it's going to be trimmed. So there we go. All right. So I just wanted to bring that that fillet command in so that you could see that the drawing is cleaning up a little bit. Down at the bottom, though, like the fifth icon over, there is this polar tracking that we started to use here. In order to get the 120 degrees, we can change this now again to 30, 60, 90, 120. We used the 45 for a different assignment. And even if you didn't, you can change this here to 30, 60, 90, 120. And what that does is it helps you to track in increments of 30 degrees. So I know I need to come up 4.5 inches before I draw that 120 degree line. So I'm going to start the line command and just rest my pointer here at the bottom right corner. Pull my mouse up and don't click, just type in 4.5 and enter. You see how it kind of tracks you up to that point? Now, if you wanted to use an offset, command to offset this bottom line up 4.5 inches. Or if you wanted to even just draw a second line there, that works as well, either way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully pull my mouse over. You see how I can see now that it's 120 degrees. It's really increments of 30. So it might say like 300 if you were drawing it from up here. So it says 120. I'll come over here and click on this line and enter. So that's that side. Oh, we do have a circle here. The circle is actually in line with this other circle. It doesn't say it, where it's at, but that's where it's at. And since we have 2 inches from this side to the bigger circle and 7/8 from here to here, we're going to do a little math and find out that it's 2 inches from this center of this circle to the center of the smaller circle. Now you could track there like I just have been doing, tracking, or you can just draw a line from the center of this circle over to and then draw your smaller circle. But I really like the tracking idea, and I'd like to show you this. So this is a circle with a diameter of 3/4 of an inch. So circle center diameter, but I'm not drawing it here, but I'm just going to rest my pointer here at the center of the bigger circle. And you see what happens when you pull your mouse across? As long as you don't pick up any other object snaps, those other little alignment points, you can pull your mouse over and type into and enter, and you're tracking from the center of the bigger circle over to the smaller circle. We still need to type in 0.75 for the smaller circle. So you decide on whether you want to draw a line from here over and then draw the circle, or just use tracking, right? So at this point, we can use trim up here next to erase. And with these new releases, we don't even have to press enter or anything like that, like we did before. We just start the trim command and click out what you don't want. That's the left side. Let's do the right side. It's really the side view here. So we can track over from the top. I'll start the line command, and I'll just rest my pointer here at the top corner, pull my mouse over to where I think this top line might be created, and I'll go ahead and click. And now I'll pull my mouse to the right and type in 0.5 for that 1/2 inch. And then down, now here I could type in 5 3/4 of an inch, or I can use tracking, right? So with tracking, I just pull my mouse over here, rest my pointer on this corner. Like I said, don't click, and just pull your mouse across until you see both those green tracking vectors, which would be like an apparent intersection, and then click. So whether you pull your mouse down and type in 5 and 5.75 and enter, or you use tracking, it's okay either way. I'll pull my mouse to the left and type in 1.5 and enter. Same thing here, I can track. I can track over to create this line that's 1.5, or if you're more comfortable, you can pull your mouse straight up and type in 1.5. And then I'm going to go ahead and click. If you did it the other way, you'd have to press enter. Okay, so this is a perfect spot for tracking. I know I need to come over, and I need to come over to line up with this endpoint. So I'm just going to rest my pointer here at the top, pull my mouse down until I see the 2 tracking vectors, and then click. Isn't that awesome? Now I can pick close in the command line, or C for close. Type in C for close, and you've got your shape. So now I can use the fillet command again. I'll start the fillet command. I'm going to click on multiple, but I know the radius, you can see it in the command line there, is already 0.25. So I'm going to click here and here, and here and here, and here and here. All right. Now tracking is awesome because I can start the line command, rest my pointer on this corner because I have a solid line over here. I'm not going to click. I'm going to pull my mouse over until I get to this point and click, and over here and click. So now I've got that solid line. We didn't create layers for the hidden or the center line, so we could do that now. We'll go back over to layer properties, and if you have a layer that's highlighted, it will create a copy of that layer. So just to avoid a lot of work, let's highlight layer 0 first and then click on the new layer icon. We need a layer called hidden and one called center. I'm going to highlight the hidden layer and click on the word continuous under line type. Pick the load button. We've done this before, so I'm going to kind of do it quickly. I can highlight hidden, pick OK, highlight hidden, pick OK. I could have loaded the center in that dialog box as well, but instead I'm going to highlight center, click on continuous, click on load, go down to center, highlight or select center, pick OK, click on center and OK. Okay, so now I have those layers. I can change the color. I have a white background, so you probably have a black background, so be careful of the colors. You probably want to use some like greens and yellows, the brighter colors. All right, then I'm going to go to hidden and double click on the little sheet of paper to set it current. We already know that another way of setting layers current is to drop this list down and click right on the word hidden, right? And now all of these hidden lines are based on the tops and bottoms of the circles and this piece here, because you're looking at a side view and all of that would be hidden. So start the line command, rest your pointer on the top of the bigger circle. Don't click, just pull your mouse over to this new side view and click, and then pull your mouse over here to the other side and click. Now the first thing you'll see is that the hidden line is a little bit big in scale. It's okay if it is. If you want to, at this point, you've learned about LT scale to change your line type scale. If you wanted that to show like 3 little hidden lines, you wanted to kind of make it a little bit tighter, you can by typing in LT scale. I'm going to leave it like that. So start the line command, rest your pointer on the top of the small circle, come over to the other detail, click, pull your mouse over here and click. Oops, see how I got like an object snaps pulling on me there. I'm going to right click and pick undo. And it just brings me back one step. So I can get a little closer and come over and click. Good. Right click and enter. You can right click and repeat the line, go to the bottom of the circle, smaller circle, and track over. Okay, here and click. Pull your mouse over and click, right click, enter, right click, repeat the line, and track over here. Right click, repeat the line, and track for this last one right there. Okay, that's it. That's actually what we would do to draw it. Now, in order for us to dimension this, first thing we want to think about is changing the layer, right? So you want to drop this list down of layers and click dim text. And now I want to change the way the text looks, because I'll go ahead and place one of the linear dimensions and then we'll change it. Okay, my dogs are getting a little frisky. Hold on a minute. Hey, stop it. Okay, okay. It's a beautiful day, and they're running in and out because I have a dog flap, like a dog door. So that's kind of nice that they can just go out on their own, right? So let's go ahead and click on linear up here. We've been using for our linear dimension. And if I go to the center of the circle and then over here to the far right side, and I pull my mouse up and click, you're going to see that we have still the decimal equivalent of that dimension. So we have to type in D and enter, click on modify if we're going to change the standard style. And then over in the primary units tab, instead of using decimal, we could use architectural, but I think this is a good place to use fractional. Fractional is another way um, of using like architectural, but with inches, smaller like this. And so this should work. Let's go ahead and pick OK and close. And there's your 2 7/8. The other thing, though, is that it doesn't have the inches on there. So there is a way of doing this. Let's just do it. We'll type in D and enter, pick the modify button. The prefix is anything that we want to see before the text in our dimensions, and the suffix is after. So underneath the suffix here in the primary units, just put inches, and then pick OK and close. And there's your inches. Now the problem with that is when we have our 120 degrees there, it is going to show next to the 120 degrees. So we'll fix that when we get to it. We'll be able to turn it off for that, just that one, or change it for just that one dimension. Okay, so now we're ready. We can use the linear tool to go ahead and continue dimensioning this detail. I'll go ahead and kind of speed it up a little. I'm right clicking to get back to the dimension. There is a way of turning off the right click menus, and then when you right click, you actually go right to the command. Maybe we'll get to that. It's under options to customize your right click options. Okay, here we go. I guess I could line up that one there. And I think I have one more over here that's hidden right there, 4, right? Okay. So we have one from here to here, right there. And now I'll go through and pick up my dogs and pick up here the diameter right here. And I think that was a radius. Yep. Oops, radius of this bigger one, right? And then, oh, we do have a diameter, another diameter of this one right here, right there. What else? We do have, I forgot the center line there, didn't I? So since we're still in this mode of, and we're in the dim text layer and we're working on this, let's go ahead and work with this angular dimension. So right here, underneath linear, we're going to click on angular. Oh yeah, we can't place it, escape out of that until we have another line. It doesn't matter what type of line it is. Just a line from this corner going out right there. Just a second line, because it won't let us select the linear line. So now when we go to angular, we can click on that line we just drew, and then this one. And there's my 120 degrees. If I want to, I can go back and delete that line that I used to place the angular dimension. That's one way. So draw a line here that's straight, and then use angular dimension to click on that line, click over here, and place your 120. Now the problem here is this has inches on it, right? So we can individually change the settings of one dimension to go off the dimension style. There are a couple of other ways of doing this, but I want to show you this. If you select this dimension and right click and go down to properties, not quick properties, you have in this properties all these different tabs that were a part of and similar to the dialog box that we used, to change this. So if I go to my primary units tab, I could take out this dim suffix right there, take out the inches, and when you press enter, you see how the inches went out. So select any object, really, right click and go down to properties, and you'll have all the properties for that individual object that you could change so that it could be on its own kind of thing. So I'll close out of this dialog box, and now I have those inches off of there, right? And then since I'm on this layer, I'm going to go to text, multi-line text. I'm going to come down here and create my text box for my all fillets radius 0.25. Probably could put 0.25 too, if you'd like. And then also another text here for my front view, and another one here for my side view. And of course, another one for the main assignment number. You go ahead and put in the assignment number and your name. Highlight the assignment number and underline it up here in the ribbon, and click in space. Oh, I didn't underline it. There we go. So this is our assignment. I think there was one more thing. Yeah, the center line I forgot to put in there. So we can go back to the layer, make sure center is highlighted current, and then go to the line tool. It's really the center line of these circles. So once I get here to center, I can track over. Careful that you're tracking over from the center. I can click out in space and pull my mouse across and click. Now it looks like it's solid because it's not big enough. I have to kind of like just stretch it out a little. Yeah, use the grips to kind of stretch that center line out so that you can actually see that it's a center line. Maybe I'll move this up. I selected it and then I held my left mouse button down and kind of drag it over here. This note can go anywhere. Sometimes better to put it, down here, but this is where it was on the assignment. So, yeah, you know what? I think I'd prefer to have it down here somewhere, like underneath the name of it. Totally up to you, but I think it might be good there too. All right, so that's the assignment that we're working with, and then this is a detail. I think I got everything. Yeah, this is a detail that we're going to use to create a 3D object out of. So make sure you save it and work on it and get it to look like this so that we can use it to create a 3D assignment later. All right, cool. Thanks. Happy Friday to you. If it is Friday when you're listening to this video, it's Friday today. So we just had a huge snowstorm and now it's a beautiful day. That's our Michigan weather for us, right? Okay, guys, take care.